Alexandre de Rhodes, S.J. was a French Jesuit missionary and lexicographer who had a lasting impact on Christianity in Vietnam. He wrote the Dictionarium Anamiticum Lusitanum Latinum, the first trilingual Vietnamese-Portuguese-Latin dictionary, published in Rome, in 1651. Biography. Alexandre de Rhodes was born in Avignon, now in France. He entered the novitiate of the Society of Jesus in Rome on the 24th of April 1612 to dedicate his life to missionary work. He arrived in Indochina about 1619. A Jesuit mission had been established in Hanoi in 1615. Rhodes arrived there in 1620. He spent 10 years in and around the court at Hanoi during the rule of Trinh Tung and Trinh Trang. While he was in Vietnam, he wrote the first Vietnamese catechism and published the first Portuguese-Latin-Vietnamese dictionary. This dictionary laid the foundations of a new Vietnamese alphabet developed by Portuguese missionaries, which used the Latin script and led to a complete decline of the traditional writing system known as Ch-Nom, having effectively separated ensuing generations of Vietnamese students from their own national literature because they could no longer read it. This alphabet is still used today and is now called Quoc. Rhodes in his reports said he converted more than 6,000 Vietnamese. In 1624, he was sent to the East Indies starting in Kochi, China. In 1627, he traveled to Tonkin, Vietnam where he worked until 1630, when he was forced to leave. He was expelled from Vietnam in 1630 as Trinh Trang became concerned about the spread of Catholicism in his realm. From Vietnam, Rhodes went to Macau, where he spent 10 years. He then returned to Vietnam, this time to the lands of the Nguyen lords, mainly around Hue. He spent 6 years in this part until he aroused the displeasure of Lord Nguyen Phu clan and was condemned to death. As his sentence was reduced to exile, Rhodes returned to Rome by 1649 and pleaded for increased funding for Catholic missions to Vietnam, telling somewhat exaggerated stories about the natural riches to be found in Vietnam. This plea by Alexandre de Rhodes is at the origin of the creation of the Paris Foreign Missions Society in 1659. As neither the Portuguese nor the Pope showed interest in the project, Alexandre de Rhodes, with Pope Alexander III's agreement, found secular volunteers in Paris in the persons of François Palou and Pierre Lambert de La Motte, the first members of the Paris Foreign Missions Society, who were sent to the Far East as apostolic vicars. Alexandre de Rhodes himself was sent to Persia instead of back to Vietnam. Rhodes died in Isfahan, Persia in 1660 and was buried in the New Julfa Armenian cemetery. Daily conversation in Vietnam resembles the singing of birds, wrote Alexandre de Rhodes. He wrote several books about Vietnam including Histoire du Royaume de Tonkin, published in Rome in 1650. Dictionarium Anamiticum Lusitanum Latinum, published in Rome in 1651. Rhodes of Vietnam, The Travels and Missions of Father Alexandre de Rhodes in China and Other Kingdoms of the Orient. He wrote Tonchinensis Historiae Libri Duo and La Glorieuse Mort d'André, Catechiste, and Catechismus. Rhodes spent 12 years in Vietnam studying under another Jesuit, Francisco de Pina. In 1943, the French colony of Indochina issued a 30C postage stamp honoring him. In 2001, Vietnamese artist Nguyen Dinh Dang created a painting in homage to Alexandre de Rhodes and Nguyen Van Vin.